Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. The Court of Appeal has ordered the unfreezing of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Samuel Walter Onogen's bank accounts in Standard Chartered Bank, Wuse, Abuja. This was after the court discharged and acquitted Onogen from the charges preferred against him in 2019 for not properly declaring his assets, leading to his removal from office and the freezing of Onogen's bank accounts. The consent judgment is the outcome of settlement terms reached by Council of the Federal Government and the former CJN.
Let it be known by the whole world that judiciary in Nigeria is one of the best in the world. We have men and women of character learning who have sacrificed their life from their early age to old age to become anything in judiciary. And yet people talk flippantly, they talk recklessly concerning these eminent Nigerians. If we don't respect our judiciary in Nigeria, the whole world will not respect judiciary in Nigeria.
Justice of Nigeria had challenged his conviction and removal from office at the Court of Appeal. A multi-trillion naira Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan has been presented to the Lake Chad Basin Commission to tackle the complex issues affecting the region. Elizabeth Omori reports that the comprehensive plan, handed over by Mohammed Goni Al-Khali, Chief Executive Officer of the Northeast Development Commission, aims to drive long-term economic growth of the region.
Chad region over the years has been grappling with numerous challenges from insecurity to climate change and economic development. Addressing these developmental issues informed this follow-up meeting to amplify the input of the master plan for implementation. The 10-year plan has 11 pillars covering agriculture, peace building, education, industrialization and more.
There are going to be an operational team that will sit down and look at it critically, the master plan, and come up with an area where the two commissions can collaborate and also bring out those areas that can be done immediately in the short term, long term, so that at the end of the day, we are all on the same lane, rather than doing it separately.
The document, drawn in 2022, has more than 500 programs and projects with 4 phases, which include recovery and stabilization, renewal, expansion, and sustainable growth.
The only limitation factor that we have, as usual, is funding. Otherwise, the plan is an excellent plan. It is an adaptive plan, and it is also in line with our regional stabilization strategy. You know, we developed that strategy in 2018.
If effectively implemented, it will accelerate regional growth, improve livelihoods, and strengthen regional security. Other issues raised at the meeting include shrinking water levels at the Lake Chad, rain patterns and displacement, as well as implementation of the roadmap, which will form part of discourse at the 3rd International Forum on the Development of the Lake Chad region. From N'Djamena, Chad, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The 7 newly appointed ministers have been inaugurated into the renewed Hope administration. President Bola Tinubu performed the ceremony in the council chambers of the State House this Monday. The new ministers are Idi Mukhtar Meha, Livestock Development, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Suwaiba Said, Minister of State Education, Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, Minister of State Housing and Urban Development, Jumoke Oduwole, Trade and Investment, Nentawe Yelwada, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, and Muhammadu Megari Dingyadi, Labor and Employment. President Tinubu thanked the ministers for accepting to serve as his administration engaged with the re-engineering of the economy. He encouraged them to be resolute and bring in their best for the benefit of the nation.
And you are called upon to join the team to rescue this country. Service is the hallmark of this one endeavor. They are being called upon. Despite the challenges, we faced the job of re-engineering and retooling the economic part of this country. For us, it was a challenge when a nation was servicing its debt with 97% of its revenue. It's nothing but end of the queue. But today I can report to you that we brought that one down and it's at 67%. We have never defaulted in paying our obligations. We meet all obligations, both foreign and domestic. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the oath of office and ready to serve your nation.
In other news, the Senate Committee on Solid Minerals says it will continue engaging key players in the mining sector to unravel the remote and immediate causes of minefield collapse in Shiroro local government areas of Niger State. Chairman of the committee, Ekong Samson, stated this at the Government House in Mina during an assessment visit to the state. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed reports.
The recent minefield collapse in Shiroro, during which workers lost their lives, was brought to the attention of the Senate through a motion from Senator Sani Musa, leading to a resolution to investigate the incidents. The committee expressed sympathy over the tragedy with an assurance to uncover the line of fault for appropriate action.
Mining safety in Nigeria, the safeguards being put in place. And as a Senate, we became even more determined to put in measure such safeguards that will prevent a reoccurrence.
Any mining exploration that will take place without adequate safety and health and hazardous standards in order to curb such incidents, any leader will be very, very interested to seeing that he hold that area carefully.
Niger State Governor Muhammad Umaru Bago says his administration insists on responsible mining practice for sustainable operations and well-being of the citizenry.
Artisanal mining has cost us a loss of lives. It has cost us loss of properties. It has encouraged a lot of banditry and insecurity. Companies, for instance, who would be given permission to do mining in communities will have to understand that there are post-mining effects. These are some of the initiatives in the new law we are about to pass.
The committee reassured that its report will capture all concerns to ensure that mining activities in Nigeria are standardized and in the interest of host communities and the government. From Mina, Niger State, Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Federal government has delivered a consignment of liquid gel fertilizer to the Anambra State Emergency Management Agency for onward distribution to farmers who were affected by flood in the state. Idem Kalu reports.
Handing over the fertilizer at the Anambra State Emergency Management Agency office in Oka, Director General of NEMA, represented by NEMA Coordinator, Enugu Zonal Office, Ngozi Echazu, noted that the fertilizer was approved under the National Food Security Council to farmers affected by 2018 flooding in Anambra. She applauded Governor Chukwuma Soludo for his efforts towards agricultural empowerment and food security in the state. while urging him to ensure timely distribution of the liquid gel fertilizer to intended beneficiaries for their use this year.
The liquid gel fertilizer is being supplied as replacement for balance of NPK fertilizer approved for Anambra State under the NFSC and EAI for states affected by 2018 flood. 1 liter of liquid gel fertilizer is equivalent to 50 kg of NPK 2010-10 fertilizer.
Receiving the fertilizers among other items, the Executive Secretary, Anambra State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Paul Odenibo, commended the federal government for the kind gesture, promising to ensure effective distribution of the items.
On behalf of Anambra State government, thank the federal government through the Director General NEMA, who has sent his zonal coordinator to Enugu to deliver this product to us. We have today received on behalf of our state, and we shall ensure that they are distributed to the farmers as directed.
The distribution of the items is expected to go a long way in boosting food production in the state. In Awka, Ndemkalo, NTA News.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs refutes reports claiming that Nigerians in Libya are being arrested and harassed as a result of the decision of the Confederation of African Football, which indicted the Libyan Football Federation for their ill treatment of the Nigerian team and officials while in Libya for a Nations Cup qualifying match. A statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Eche Abu Obi, clarifies that Nigerians in Libya are going about their daily activities, devoid of any form of harassment by Libyan authorities. He added that this is contrary to a publication in the Punch newspaper on the 3rd of November 2024, while reaffirming government's commitment to safeguarding the well-being of its citizens anywhere in the world, which is top priority of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We'll head to Lagos now to join Hengino for our next set of reports.
Thank you, Ruth. Nigeria's tourism sector is being repositioned to become a catalyst for economic growth with the validation of a draft national tourism policy by stakeholders in the sector. Minister of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, assures speedy implementation of the draft policy which outlines a bold vision for tourism development under the Renewed Hope agenda. Joel Pupola reports that tourism commissioners and stakeholders across the country were at the draft policy review.
The economic potential of Nigeria's tourism sector cannot be overemphasized, but with previous policies on the tourism sector already outdated, the sector has a lot of ground to cover. The National Tourism Policy of Nigeria, a template midwifed by the former Minister of Tourism, Lola Adejon, with input from the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, NESG, led by Ike Nwosu and other critical stakeholders within the group, is in tandem with the United Nations World Tourism Organization standards. This the current minister Hannatu Musa Musawa describes as a game changer that will create millions of direct and indirect employment in the tourism industry and stimulate economic growth.
After today's engagement, we'll be able to hopefully take it to the Federal Executive Council so that, we have this policy in place. And looking forward to the framework that's going to come in from the states so that we can have a proper master plan for the tourism industry.
Things that we're doing next year is holding the national gastronomy competition. Competitions down to community level. For gastronomy, from community level to local government to state, and then to the federal level.
The draft policy, stakeholders say, is all-encompassing, bearing in mind the interests of the local community who are expected to take ownership of the tourist sites in their domain.
We are hoping that it's going to be properly implemented. The immediate gain is that we're going to have more investment in the tourism sector.
Members of the Tourism Policy Review and Drafting Committee received certificates of commendation from the minister for their inputs. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Turning to environment matters now, the challenges of climate change, ocean surge and population explosion might overwhelm Lagos within the next 50 years if necessary immediate and long-term measures are not taken. This formed part of discussions as the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, played host to the House of Representatives Committee on Ecological Funds. Joy Ken Abakwe reports.
The visit of the House of Representatives Committee on Ecological Funds to Lagos is part of its tour of states to assess ecological and environmental issues and give recommendations to the federal government on disbursement of funds. Chairman of the committee, Aminu Sani Jaji, who says the federal government intervention is expected to cover flood control and waste management, as well as environmental conservation, says policies already in place by the Lagos State government make it easy for the federal government and other partners to intervene.
We have seen the challenges, and all the challenges that we saw are real challenges, and such challenges must be addressed. The only way that can be addressed permanently is have a substantial intervention from the federal government, more especially the ecological funds, which are currently that we are working on. And what is our mandate to ensure that the funds are being utilized properly, and then we'll ensure that the Lagos State will get significant intervention in this regard.
For Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Lagos, being a coastal state with a large population, is faced with daunting environmental challenges and requires partnership that will bring permanent solutions to its environmental problems.
It's only 100% that we can say that it's been done, because each time we stop and start, the cost overrun and it becomes very difficult for you to complete.
Governor Sanwo-Olu, however, assured that the state government will continue to do its best to protect residents from the negative effects of torrential rainfall and other environmental and natural disasters. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues in Benin after this break.
Good afternoon, you're welcome to Benin. Edo State government has launched the Edo State digital economy, which it has leveraged upon to drive the economy of the state in the last 3 years. Governor Gordon Obaseki, while performing the launch, expressed satisfaction with the extent to which government programs have been driven through technology. Goodluck Anaini has details of this and other engagements of the governor.
The Edo State government officially migrated from the analog to e-governance in September last year, hence becoming one of the foremost states in Nigeria to adopt digital policy. It is in acknowledging this digital revolution in the state that the state government has put guidelines in place to regulate activities in the digital ecosystem. For Governor Obaseki, activities of the ministries and MDAs are driven by technology, hence the need to protect and sustain the system.
If the people adopt technology without government, participation, the whole space will be in disarray. But we were lucky in Edo to set up an agency of government, the ICT agency, that started the process of digitizing government itself.
Earlier, the State Commissioner for Digital Economy, Ifalu Isibo, gave an overview of the digital policy project.
It's an all-inclusive framework to help us move forward and sustain all that His Excellency Governor Gordon Obaseki has done with digital transformation in Nigeria.
The governor officially launched the policy and also inaugurated the action team members before leading some of the guests to inspect facilities at the Edo State Data Center, housing all the information of the Edo State government. In Benin, Goodluck Anaini, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigerian women have agreed that it is necessary they support one another, irrespective of party, religious, or tribal inclination. This is among the fallouts at the inaugural Nigeria Women Conference in Benin City. Goodluck Enaine reports that the conference, at the instance of the wife of the Edo State Governor, Betsy Obaseki, had dignitaries in Nigeria in attendance.
Nigeria has continued to record a low representation of women in politics, despite the fact that women constitute almost half of the country's total population. Therefore, the inaugural Nigeria Women in Leadership Conference has brought women from across the nation to brainstorm on how to maximize their available opportunities in the political space to champion their cause. The initiator and wife of Edo State Governor, Dr. Betsy Obaseki, says it is high time Nigerian women unite against the forces in all ramifications and promise to continue the struggle even after leaving office.
We need to catch that spirit of patriotism, each and every one of us. We need to desire better for our people and better for our state and our country.
While the keynote speaker, Ibukun Awoshika, emphasized collective empowerment, guest of honor and former minister Josephine Aneni noted the importance of women's participation in politics.
When we join our powers together, we create a superpower, and we use that superpower to get there and do great things. Our disadvantage has been that most of us do not know what the issues are. Even in the nation, we don't even know what the issues are.
The conference unveiled the logo, mission, and vision of Nigerian Women in Leadership, marking the beginning of a focused movement to empower and sponsor women across Nigeria. In Benin, Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Ruth Agwele. Ruth, is back to you.
Thank you, Anwali. Security experts say safeguarding power installation must be considered a top priority by host communities to mitigate vandals threatening the country's collective clamor for power supply. Lydia Sampson has more for us.
Vandalizing power installations for whatever reason is an economic sabotage that unfortunately affects Nigerians. The question is, why should key players and people in communities be unperturbed when actions of few bad eggs put their lives in jeopardy?
Now, we can't talk about vandals without talking about the bad eggs also in the electricity sector. Because why? For you to successfully go up, take cables and do all of that, you need an expert in that line to guide you through.
We need to also find a monitoring and tracking system that can help us to easily mitigate from where we are to where we're supposed to be.
They want transmission companies to proactively engage the communities before installing facilities, as well as educating the people to engender prevention and protection of critical power installations.
When you want to install an infrastructure, carry the community along. You do a mapping of the area. Who are those that originally own this land? Now, if you put a power line on my street, they say the EDC or whatever now has right of way. I'll be denied access to it. Sometimes by force, sometimes no compensation is paid. The community, before these things are installed, have to be carried along.
They are emphatic that leveraging technology for tracking trunks having issues rather than spending much more money to repair vandalized installations, interagency cooperation and centralizing information, they insist must be encouraged. They want perpetrators punished to serve as deterrent. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Kogi State Vigilante Service has stepped up its game in community policing to complement other security agencies in the state. State Controller General of the service, Navy Commander Abdurrahman Mariam Adinoyi, retired, told journalists when the service bust a suspected criminal hideout in Lokoja. Solomon Ayedehi reports.
The integration of local vigilantes into Kogi State security framework is designed to boost intelligence gathering and strengthen community policing. Working alongside other security agencies, the vigilantes have been instrumental in tackling armed robbery, kidnapping, and banditry across the state. The Kogi State Vigilante Service raided a criminal hideout in Lokoja, recovering stolen items including 10 motorcycles, 4 generators, 2 air conditioners, 3 plasma TVs, a door, and several motorcycle number plates.
The operative of Kogi State Vigilantes are indigene. We try as much as possible to deploy the indigene of every community to police the community. This is local security to complement the conventional securities. So with that, we are policing ourselves.
The Controller General of the Kogi State Vigilante Service, Navy Commander Abrahaman Mariam Adinoye retired, credited their success to the state government's support in improving the welfare of the service members. He added that plans are underway to upgrade the service headquarters and build a rest area for the officers. He reaffirmed the service commitment to securing lives and property and called on public to provide information to aid their efforts. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
The police in Ebonyi State have arrested 162 males and 15 females for their alleged involvement in various offences in the month of October 2024. Only Fortunate also reports that 92 suspects have already been charged to court, while others will be arraigned once investigations are completed.
In an effort to combat crime and ensure a safe and prosperous environment for socio-economic growth in Ebonyi State, the Ebonyi State Police Command paraded 8 suspects involved in various crimes.
The issue of car theft is rising this period, and owners of cars should be able to provide means. Trackers, very important. If you don't want to go through trackers, you can also get these locks for your vehicle as well, to lock your steering or pedal locks.
Some of the suspects confessed to the crime, alleging that they only killed Mr. Chikezie Idenyi in order to use his blood to cure a cognitive impaired person.
One day in the night, he brought in one person I do not know. When we wanted to hit the person with a stick, he struggled for his life. Then the person performing the sacrifice said he had rejected him. We carried him in a motorcycle to a place in Ibegiji, on that side. But when we were about to hold him and kill him, he escaped and fell inside the river. So we now kidnapped Chikeze, killed him, and took his blood.
The command also arrested Friday James Nwore in Umezali Orizo community, a Zanof local government area, who has been terrorizing the community. In Abakaliki, Fortunate also, NTA News.
Ibadan is our next stop, and Kemi is set to guide us.
Thank you very much, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. A technical subcommittee of the federal government on the evaluation of dams in Nigeria has declared Ikere Gorge Dam in Iseyin local government area of Oyo State as safe. The leader of the subcommittee, Ali Ibrahim, made the declaration upon an inspection visit to the dam. Ayamiku Ajibola has the report.
This technical subcommittee, comprised of interministerial technical members, demanded by the federal government to undertake detailed assessment of dams in Nigeria to determine their structural integrity, impact on downstream conditions, as well as the social and environmental conditions on riparian communities, declared that the 41-year-old Ikere Gorge Dam appeared to be in good condition after the physical examination.
Salient features of the dam that are supposed to be available in good conditions, I think they are. I've seen the riprap in good condition, both upstream and downstream.
Assuring that the findings on the dam will form a robust action plan that will help to combat the challenges facing the dam structure in the country, the Director of Dams and Reservoir highlighted that the challenges faced by Ikere Gorge Dam to include operational and maintenance.
The spillway is intact, quite okay. But the stealing basin, which is another structure adjoining the spillway, has failed. Some portion of it has failed, maybe due to poor maintenance or aging, but the dam is intact and it's given its full functions, but it's to be addressed by the government.
With the present government of President Tinubu, I hope this project will come up fully.
The evaluation of dams across the country was necessitated by the recent collapse of the section of the spillway of Alu Dam in Maiduguri, Borno State. In Ibadan, Ayemiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The Kwara State government, through the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development, has flagged off the distribution of free text and storybooks to learners across junior as well as senior secondary schools in the state. The project is part of the state effort at inculcating national core values and curbing drug abuse through the promotion of reading culture. Aisha Abokariaya has the report.
The books distributed include English and mathematics textbooks, as well as storybooks of different kinds. Students across the state are getting the books free of charge. Beyond the conventional textbooks that teach various subjects, the State Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development, according to the Commissioner, is introducing storybooks that promote discipline and moral values. Bullying, drug abuse, and other vices are becoming rampant in secondary schools across the country. Hence, the need to sensitize the learners on their dangers through the storybooks.
We are told that when you read these books, ensure that you pass it forward. When you have read, share with your friends so that they too also can know what drug abuse is all about. They can know what bullying is all about. They can know how to prevent all this menace in the society.
These books will teach me about me not indulging in drug abuse and also not to bully my peers in class.
I feel good actually being one of the beneficiaries of this book, knowing that it's going to help me and help others too.
The ministry had earlier performed WAEC floating exercise for 2024-2025 academic session, where school principals from across the state were commended for their conduct in the external examinations. School heads are expected to step down the information from the exercise to the examination officers, teachers and students in their various schools to ensure smooth conduct of WAEC and other external examinations. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide will continue in Kaduna with Mohammed after this timeout. Do stay with us.
In Kaduna, over 1,000 farmers in Kano State have benefited from the federal government initiatives aimed at increasing agricultural productivity and establishing crucial market connections. In a message delivered during the stakeholders meeting with the beneficiary communities, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, highlighted the significance of these efforts. Awal Salisu reports.
Since its inception, President Tinubu's administration has launched a range of policies and programs aimed at transforming Nigeria's agricultural sector from subsistence-based to commercial-driven with a focus on achieving food sufficiency. These initiatives not only target increased crop production, but also include training programs to equip farmers with vital skills in modern farming techniques and sustainable practices. In Kano State alone, over 1,000 farmers have benefited from these programs. The recent meeting centers on assessing ongoing projects, sharing best practices, and planning future initiatives to enhance food security and drive rural development.
To underscore the importance of the food security aspect and to ensure each and every Nigerian that this government is keen on providing the food security much needed in the country.
This activity takes a lot of critical steps, which is what we're doing here in Kano, a pilot phase to first test the waters, train the farmers, and ensure that they're well abreast with the development objective of Mr. President's agenda for agriculture.
Additionally, The program aims to facilitate knowledge exchange and strengthen networks among stakeholders, fostering a collaborative environment essential for sustainable agricultural growth. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Wealthy Nigerians and corporate organizations at home and abroad have been asked to continue assisting the less privileged in the society and poor families in the face of the current socio-economic challenges, as government cannot do it all alone. Suleiman Kodogi reports that the former Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Muhammad Babandede, made the plea in Katsina State.
Nigerians, especially the less privileged, have for a while now continued to grapple with economic realities affecting their daily livelihood. This informed the present administration's decision to adopt various measures, such as distribution of palliative, among others, all geared towards curtailing the hardship. Several other individuals and non-governmental organizations are also coming up with the aim of complementing the efforts of government at all levels.
Distribute to the people, but in an organized and respectable way, and in a way not just for them to eat today, but in a way that can be sustainable, and for them to invest, they to become a great people. There's no need for always to call somebody and give him a gift. Make him grow so that he can too also give the gift to the future to other people.
Muhammad Baba then further discloses that he is one of the few opportune individuals that have benefited from the Commonwealth of Nigeria, and the need for him to give back to the society in whatever capacity. This informed his decision to establish a foundation that reaches out to the less privileged, especially the widows across the country.
This NGO, Show for You Rescue and Rehabilitation Initiative, is an NGO I founded to help especially the people who are less privileged. Those who I picked, number one, are the widows. During the olden days, when you die and leave your family, the family relation takes care of you. Not anymore.
He further appealed to the well-to-do individuals to use their resources to positively impact society with a view to changing the present narrative for the better. Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from this and Nationwide continues with Ruth Hagwele in our Abuja studio. Ruth, good to see you this evening.
Good to see you too, Mohammed. Nasarawa state government has abolished local government joint account. Now this follows the signing into law of the Nasarawa State Local Government Law 2024 by Governor Abdullahi Sule. Aliyu Tijani reports.
It is a historic event, though brief, but impactful as Nasarawa State ushers in new era that will accelerate development across local government areas. The event, which is the signing into law of the Nasarawa State Local Government Law 2024, is witnessed by Deputy Governor, Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Chief Judge of the State, members of the State Executive Council, and Chairman State Council of Chiefs, among others. Under the new law, which comes into effect immediately, the state government will not interfere in affairs of local government, thus affirming independence of each local government.
By enacting this law, we are taking decisive steps towards empowering our local government councils and freeing them from the other local laws that will contradict the Supreme Court decision, and ensuring that they operate independently and effectively in serving our local communities.
The state government will oversee the administration of development areas and ensure they are properly funded. The state government will also establish the State Economic Council with all chairmen, among others, as members. The State Economic Council will be chaired by the State Deputy Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Akabi. In Lafia, Aliyu Tijani, NTA News.
In an effort to improve the health and well-being of its citizens, the Yobe state government has implemented a primary healthcare system strengthening mechanism aimed at ensuring inclusive access to healthcare services in the state. And one of this mechanism was the routine engagement with religious and traditional leaders to ensure that no one is left behind in access to healthcare services in the state. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The construction, rehabilitation, and upgrading of 140 primary healthcare centers in its determination towards providing one functional primary healthcare center in each of the 178 wards of the state, many say clearly demonstrated Yobe's commitment to achieving universal health coverage and other health-related sustainable development goals. The engagement with religious and traditional leaders, as well as other critical stakeholders, is a strategic approach to leverage their influence and promote access to healthcare services, particularly in rural communities. This collaborative effort ensures that no one is left behind in the state.
A healthy population is therefore an essential asset for speedy socio-economic development of any society. In these regards, we have maintained our focus on making quality healthcare services accessible to people in all parts of the state.
The conduct of this meeting is one of the key indicators of PSC Leadership Challenge Fund that obtained its roots from the Seattle Agreement in November 2019, where Their Excellencies governors of the 36 states and the Minister of the FCT committed to a PSC system strengthening in their respective states.
The state government also assures all development partners of its commitment to paying counterpart funding obligations of all healthcare programs for the attainment of collective goals in the state. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Kogi State has been rated among states in the north with a number of appraisals, sustainable landscape interventions following prompt payment of its counterpart funds. Charles Alpha reports that the World Bank and the federal government's special implementation support team was at the Angpa Gully Erosion stabilization site for an on-the-spot assessment.
Erosion for years has been one of the major causes of displacement of people living along the corridor in Angpa local government area of Kogi State. But after the Akrisal State Project Management Unit received additional 600 million naira to the 400 million naira already on ground as counterpart funding, it was no surprise the extent work has gone when the Special Implementation Support Team of the federal government and the World Bank embarked on a site inspection.
We are impressed so far with the work on the ground. Our only comment will be to speed up the implementation.
The quality of work done here is world class. We're happy to report that the contractor is living up to the specifications that we so designed.
The project has recorded successful execution of the Safe Life for Enabo and 300 water harvesting projects for dry season farming in Angpa communities. After Governor Ododo flagged off the first phase of the Community Revolving Fund, about $250,000 was disbursed to 20 CIGS in 10 communities, with a total of 208 beneficiaries. The project has also supported farmers at the watershed with 30 hand-holding tractors and irrigation pumps to increase agricultural production and income generation. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
By 2050, Africa accounts to 25% of the global population, with Nigeria as one of its largest democracies. In the light of this, the United Kingdom aims to strengthen bilateral ties to enhance UK-Africa relations. UK's Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, David Lammy, made this assertion during the signing of Memorandum of Understanding with Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar. Garba Natala also reports that the newly sworn-in Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, was also welcomed at the ministry in Abuja. Sports update is next.
Nigerian table tennis player Kadri Aruna delivered an impressive performance, staging a thrilling 3-2 comeback against Japan's 5th seed Tomokazu Harimoto on the first day of the WTT Champions Frankfurt 2024. Despite starting strong, Aruna, who is ranked 21st in the world, lost the first 2 sets with scores of 7-11 and 11-13, which sparked hope for Harimoto to claim victory.
What this is giving us
In other news, North Korea secured the FIFA Under-17 in the UEFA Champions League. Action resumes as AC Milan face Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu on Tuesday. Additionally, Liverpool will go up against Bayer Leverkusen, Sporting Lisbon will take on Manchester City, and Celtic will battle Leipzig. And lastly in tennis, Germany's Alexander Zverev triumphed at the Paris Masters, winning decisively against local favorite Hugo Humbert with a score of 6-2, 6-2. The new world number 2, Zverev, 27, now has 7 ATP 1000 titles to his name, including 2 wins each in Rome and Madrid, along with triumphs in Montreal and Cincinnati. With sports update, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
That concludes Nationwide. Thank you for your company. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.